All right. So what we need to do is we need to look at these sump drain lines for the elevators because Eric made them in the wrong classification. So what we want to do is if you open that system browser, you should have it open. We can go to the sump drains, isolate those, and that should find you every drain in the building. Now, you can see he's got them named a little bit weird.
I might have an extra, the one that I added, I may not have put on the correct system because I just didn't know.
Well, that's where what we're going to try to do is get it in the right system. Now, first things first, this is what Eric got very frustrated about is he couldn't change the classification of the system. So you understand when you look at some paint pump drain over here in your browser, do you see what symbol it's got next to the front of it? Can you tell what that is? If not, go to your pipe systems.
Oh, I see. It's like, because the sanitary waste has a different kind of, it has a trap, and this one has
Yeah,
some kind
yeah,
of
you need to
spray.
recognize those symbols. Those systems are very important. Now, what frustrated Eric so much is he made this sump pump drain. If we double click on it, it's going to open up. And what it's going to say is it's part of a domestic cold water. That's not what it should be. What should it be? What should a sump pump drain be? Waste, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
hard for me to
waste.
see your dialog box. What does it say?
No, I want you looking at your dialog box.
I know. So how'd you get the properties? You just picked on it in that system browser and hit
I
properties?
went to piping systems, and then on the sump pump drain, I either right click, I think, and edit, or you just double click on it.
Okay.
And then it'll open up its type properties box. And if you look down the system classification, you can see where it gets so frustrated.
I'm trying to find it. So you double click. I don't know why. Oh, it's changing all that. Okay.
Do you see where I'm at? You see how you can't change that system classification? Yes or no?
No, because I'm trying to get to the properties. I don't have the dialog box. It's not coming up like yours is. So, because I've just picked on NPCW4 on the sump pump.
I tell you what, let's try this StreamYard out a little bit. We'll make it work a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove my presentation. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna then start to share, and I'm gonna share just a window. Now tell me if this helps you out. So I want to share a window. I want the one that's got the blue screen around it. All right, now can you read it? So what you need to do,
Okay.
all right, what you need to do is you need to come down here to piping systems and
Oh,
then click
okay.
plus on piping systems.
Okay. And find sump pump drain.
And double click, or
Okay.
and that's it. Now, do you see the classification?
Let's see. Yeah, it's grayed out.
Yeah, because you can't change it. That's what's driving Eric nuts. So how do you fix that?
You have to choose other when you make the system.
You have to make a whole new system.
Yeah. Yeah. You make a
Okay.
brand new system and make sure it starts with.
This is what I was trying to tell Eric. Think about when we make any kind of parameter in a family. Let's say you want a parameter that says the offset length or something like that when you're making a family. How many times have you made that parameter and you said, oh, damn it, I didn't want it to be a length. I wanted it to be a text value.
Yeah.
You can't go back and change those values. So how do we get a waste one? What we need to do,
You have
okay,
to pick from the waste and copy the waste.
that's exactly right. What I need to do is I need to look at one of mine. So I'd go to my sanitary waste. If you can see my screen, I'd go to my sanitary waste and look at this. It says system classification sanitary. Now we only have so many options there. We don't have unlimited options. The other thing you can do is you can go and you could say file new, use your default, go down to the families, piping systems, piping systems. So what drives every architect nuts who doesn't do piping is they want to get those things out of there, but you can't. Those are the ones you're allowed to use. Those are all the systems that are used. So let's talk about these systems. So I was wrong earlier. I told you it was just domestic. There's domestic cold. Let's see if I can get rid of domestic hot. So can I say delete? And it's going to say that you cannot delete the last system. It has to have hot, just like it has to. What does it have to have for walls? It has to have walls, it has to have curtain walls, and it has to have a stacked wall. You can never delete those last three things, right?
Hmm.
What does it have to have for ceilings as a test? It has to have basic ceilings and compound ceilings. You can't delete the last one from it. So those are, and when you're doing piping or plumbing, those are the most important ones to understand. Domestic cold is obvious. That system's going to go until it hits your hot water heater or whatever hot source you have to turn the domestic cold into domestic hot. And from there, it's going to go out domestic hot. I'm going to ignore the fire protection. Hydronic return and hydronic supply. What does that tell you?
It's a hydronic system.
It's got a loop, right? It's a closed loop system. It goes around and around and around. Somewhere it changes from supply to return, and somewhere it changes from return back to supply. But the two are joined together, right? Other, that's going to be your gases and things like that are a one-way trip. Sanitary is just about like other. It's a one-way trip out of the building. And then venting, we know what the venting is, where you got to tie in to go to the roof. And those have never really worked real well in Revit. I think we've got a system that's working a little bit better, but the gist of it is what I need you to do is back in that project, you're going to end up going to this sump pump drain, and then you're probably going to go do a control C, and then I normally go XXX. And what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm getting a waistline, sanitary. Some people might call it other, but to me, it's pumping out the bottom of these elevators. It's waste material. We're getting it out of there. It's not grease waste. It's not what we called our sanitary, our waste. This is going to be a sump pump drain. So when we duplicate him, then you just go name it that new sump pump drain. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Now, I believe these things are not connected worth a damn if I remember. They weren't before. See how they're all broken? If you tab on your sump pumps, they're not all joined together. It's good to there. That one's broken at that thing. And I think what ended up happening to Eric, let's see if I go to a greater scale. That purple color is a miserable color. Don't be afraid to pick a new color. But he did not get that elbow there because when he tried to modify and join those two pipes, it said the resulting angle is bad. Why is that doing that? My guess, this pipe system, okay? So this is different. I picked on the pipe. I hit edit type. And this is where we get the routing preferences edit. And my guess is whatever he's got for the elbow is bad.
Yep.
What's he got for an elbow? That thing there, I would probably change that thing to the generic standard since I don't know what type pipe it actually is. Let's try this again. Why would it say that? Span. And the specific angles used in the mechanical, that yeah, I think it's the second part. So what he's saying is somewhere in the type that he created.
It's just not the right elbow. You need to find a different elbow to use.
No. That's not what it was saying, though. That's not what it was saying. It was saying in here somewhere there's a controller on the angles.
Oh. Sometimes the elbow won't do a certain angle.
You see seg? Nope. So what you got to do is go to that edit type. This is where I think it helps for us to explore because when you're new to the software, it's hard to find this stuff. But if you go to the pipe and you say edit type, and then you go to edit or routing preferences, and then the segments and sizes, this is where it's at. I promise you it's on this screen. See here where it says angles? Revit will use any angle supported by the fitting content. I want to say use specific angles. Okay. So if I now say okay all the way out, will it join the two together? If not, I can give it a more specific angle. That's where it's at. How does that normally go? So if we say create similar, and we go to one of their standard ones, that's the problem.
Go to a standard elbow.
I put the potable in.
It's the elbow. It's the elbow you're picking. It's not. Yeah, I would pick like a PVC something. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a lot to pick from.
Well, and that's the whole thing. I think that's what got Eric so messed up. But I know if I'm back in this file and I go to this is the one that I made that was new. So here's my question. If I say draw a piece of pipe, systems, I draw a piece of pipe, he's got this about there. We'll go down to 1 inch. 1 inch. If I go up to 11 feet, let's go to 15 feet. And then I go slope up, slope down. It had no problem drawing that. Now, this is a perfect example of where the hell did it draw it? Right?
What kind of pipe type was it? It's all has to do with
default.
that pipe
I
type.
made it the default pipe type. But I would bet any money the reason
Yeah.
you're not seeing anything is because there's usually a filter. No. What the heck?
He needs to use the same one as we used for sanitary when we made the sanitary pipe type.
Yeah, but he didn't want the PVC fittings. He was trying to be fancy and he ended up killing himself. Oh, I know what's going on. You know what's going on? You know why I can't draw? Because I started with an architectural template, so therefore the pipe type doesn't have any routing preferences. Everything is a none. There's
Yeah.
no elbows, there's no fittings. That's why I can't draw. I promise you, people out there have done the exact same thing. If we had someone who would just snip this part of the video out, that is the kind of information that's so important to Ginger because she's like, I tried drawing a pipe and I couldn't even draw a pipe. Because that's what you would think if you were trying to draw in that view. So tell me what we're supposed to do the right way. We're supposed to go to new and do what? File, new, project, and do what? We've got to change that to the mechanical template. Okay. This is why architects can't draw pipe because that little step right there. All this template has is this has a bunch of different pipe systems. So now if I go to 3D and I say that I want to draw a pipe and I want that pipe to be 1 inch pipe, right? And I go over and then I go up a bunch, 18 feet, and then I come turn this way, right? It made all that pipe. Second ago, I thought I was completely incompetent, right? Now, my question is, can I draw up from there, draw a pipe? Can I go up another to 25 foot? And then can I slope down? All right. So this pipe has the answer to my question. If I go to edit, edit the routing, edit the segments and sizes, and go to the angles, you see what it says? It says use any angle, which is what you were saying. You were right with what you were saying. That's supported by the fitting content. So what has to happen is he needs that fitting content in there. What pipe type is this? Standard. I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to call it my sump drain. You with me? I'm then going to copy these 2 pieces of object out or these 3 pieces of object out, go back to the file that you're in.
There's already one in there called sump, pump, drain. So be careful which one's yours.
I got you. Appreciate that. So mine is called, oh, mine kept standard. No, I did it to the top one, sump drain. Okay. So what we want to do, we want to move all of these to sump drain. You can only get the pipes. They need to go to sump drain. And now we should be able to fill it those. You think it's going to work? Why did it not work?
I think if you just took all this to the sanitary system and it would all work fine.
No, I
Yeah,
went
you're,
in.
you're right.
I
You're
went,
right because it still should work because you switched the whole system to this new standard system. It's a weird angle.
No, no, look, I had changed the type in the system. Now, if I say use any angle, it's going to work now.
Oh, okay.
See, because it was calling for that. It was locked down. Nope, it still didn't work. I just don't understand why.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would just draw the same pipe right beside his and see what. I mean, create similar slope up.
I get that. That's how you go. You get past that. That's a
No, I'm
typical.
just trying to see if it'll still work, even though. Okay, I got a family is connected in a network and can no longer keep the connectivity. Just disconnect the family from the network. It's trying to put an elbow in there. If you just redraw it. Maybe he's, I'm not sure because I tried to do the same thing. And this was the grease waste one now. It's definitely the system, not the pipe type.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Oh, because I
I
didn't
don't
change the
know.
system. I know why. Because I didn't change the system. So if I go see all these sump pump drains, see here's a nice thing. You see how we're turning things off, not with a filter. We're looking at all the sump drains, but not by applying a filter. The benefit is when you draw a pipe and it's undefined, it's not going to disappear on you. You know how when you turn a filter and you turn off sanitary and then you accidentally draw some sanitary, you're like, where'd it go? See, that's the benefit of isolating things by the system. But I think what I would probably do is I would probably take all this and I would delete those systems. And that's right, you have to delete them one at a time. I forgot that. All right. That is where we're going wrong. So what just happened is all those things got turned to undefined. Now the first thing that I would do is this. See, this is the new sump pump drain system. So this is the one that is waste. So one of the first things that I would do, Control C, I'm going to copy that name. I'm going to give this thing better colors than Eric had. All right. I'm going to go, he had like this purplish color. I don't want to go as dark. Now the material, yeah, we'll apply that material, but I don't want it to be dark. I want it to be light because it's a small pipe. It needs help banging out. So now what happens is if I do, remember what we were doing with the sanitary lines where we would say, pick on a piece of pipe, draw a pipe, look at what kind it's trying to draw. It's trying to draw the sump pump drain X. I want to hit escape. I want to draw my new one. That should be that lighter colored one. Now what happens is if I go to any undefined pipe and I draw a piece of pipe, it's going to turn it that pink color. See how I made it that system?
Yeah.
Now you can start to see where breaks are. And let's see if these breaks can be fixed. Oh, I want to cry. Check him. So you say that's coming from the system, huh? If it is, that really is interesting. Pipe. Use any angle. Slopes. It allows you to use the slopes. Do you think that elbow's just? I don't know.
I think it's the wrong elbow on the wrong system.
Elbow generic 1. All right. It could be the elbow. Elbow generic. All right. So what I'd do is I'd edit that family. I'd save as. Didn't write that shortcut key yet. Save as family. I'm going to call this the sump elbow, so I can recognize it. I'm going to load this into my actual project. Oh, that took a second. I'm going to go to that 3D view. Come on, baby. Shit, she's a chugging. Go to that 3D view and say, this guy, which is the sump pump drain, his routing preference is to use the elbow of the type that I just typed in, which is the sump elbow. Yep. Will it work now?
Somehow I think that
Wow, now it doesn't want to work either.
it seems like he just got started off on a really bad pipe type, and we should be able to draw this whole thing now with the new pipe
Let's
system that
try
we
that.
made.
Let's try that. So I believe, see, I think what is ended up happening is this guy is a 1/4 inch slope. So let me ask you a question. If I change this to an 1/8 inch slope,
I think that'll fix it.
will that fix it? It will. So somewhere in that thing, he doesn't want to be a 1/4 inch. That's this.
That's
How,
what it is. That's the problem the whole time.
where does that get set? Yeah, why get you? Where do you set that? I'm wondering if that's set
The precision, how
in
much
the manage additional
slope?
settings.
Yeah.
Oh,
MEP.
MEP settings.
Yeah.
No, it's not the MEP. That's only 2 things.
In the slopes. And the pipe
No, this is in the fitting family.
angles. Hmm.
See, so that means you couldn't do what he's trying to do. So you were saying a second ago, what you would do is take the brand new clean type I drew, and you would say create similar, right? We'd come in and we'd draw a little bit, and then
Draw it
we
a
go,
1/4 inch.
and then we go up to minus 15 feet, and then we draw a little bit more, right? And then we go up a little bit more to minus 12 feet. And then we say we want to slope at a 1/4 inch, and it's going to say no good. See, it's not
Well,
allowing it. It's not allowing it. It
you know,
won't.
if you go to project units, there's a slope. And I
In
think
the
it's in the
family,
units.
in the
No,
family,
no, just in the project units. You have angle and you have slope.
MEP settings.
Oh,
Can
I
it?
guess it's the common. It's under common, I guess. I was using under common. Let me
Pipe
look under
settings,
piping.
pipe angles.
Piping slope. 130 seconds. Um,
You see, I can put other slopes in. Why
Yeah.
can't
But
why
under
can't you?
common, it's only going, mine is only currently going to a 1/2 inch. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but let's see. Connect.
You see, this derailed Eric for a long time. As a matter of fact, I think he stopped working on the job for a little bit after this.
Yeah, but sometimes if you go down the track, you just need to quit trying to solve the problem and just go with what works. You know, another pipe system works fine. He should have just drawn it with a new system.
Yeah, but you got to be able to build those. You got to understand, honey. They might be asking you to change all this to the Noopy pipe fittings, to the right fittings, and that can be real important, a real tripping point for people. I'll come up with a solution. You see what I want you to do for naming those systems?
Yeah,
Spend a
yeah,
couple hours naming those systems and getting the sheet set up for them. All right.
yeah, yeah.
Make them look good. Then you can get rid of the roof lead. You start with the roof leaders. You know what I mean? And I think I would do the vent and the sanitary, or the sanitary and maybe the 3 vents that vent that sanitary system where you're doing. Do you see the vision I'm trying to get you to go on? I'm
Sure,
gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna figure this thing out.
So I definitely see the being able to make these systems will definitely make the project better. We'll be able to find errors and we'll be able to fix things, but we do have to get these sheets tagged and dimensions.
No, the tagging and dimensioning that you're completely off base. That's a no priority.
Oh, okay, you got someone lower level that can do that?
We got someone overseas that can do that if that's what we need to do.
Okay,
I need to use you for your higher capabilities, which is setting up these sheets. Let's get
okay,
these sheets set up. And then tonight we need to do a lot of interference detection. And I'm going to run the mechanical. Well, here in a little bit, we'll jump on another meeting and I'm going to do mechanical and you're going to do plumbing and we're going to get out of each other's stuff. So I know you're pretty good with interference. Mechanical's a different story, and I got about 5 moves for you to make. So be
sure.
ready for another one of these meetings in 2, 3 hours, maybe after we go to eat. Okay.
Okay, so how about if I just start with the roofs to make it a little easier for me until I get into a groove, and then I'll make it my way to the vents and sanitary.
Yep. We'll just go down the list. You just go down the list till you
Yeah.
understand every system. And I'm telling you, in 2 hours, you're going to say, I understand the building so much better than I did before. That's where what's important is that you can give them that same information because they got to understand it that quickly. Does that make
So
sense?
so yeah, so what would I call the roof drains? I know the bathrooms are like would maybe have a bathroom name, or how do you want to do the roof on my sheets? How would I
Well,
say that this is this system? Would I just
well,
say area A system roof drains?
you could break it down into what area it's in. Like I said, I think you help the field out if you tell them this is the service connector. This is the service level east, the service level west.
Okay.
Let's look at it. We'll just look at it real quick, see, because I can reset that, right? That's the whole benefit of this is I can then come in here and say, okay, she wants to understand that the services, I would think I would be calling those out more as what bathroom they're at.
Oh, okay. Oh, the roof drains?
No, the waistlines.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm pretty clear on the waistline because the waste is always going to be coming from some specific area. So
Exactly.
I got that. I was just talking about the roof drains.
The,
So
the the roof drains, yeah, I would call them out by the quadrant that they're coming from. Look where the drain heads are. And if
okay,
the drain heads are in area A, call it area A.
okay, I'll do
And
that with the heads are.
You might have an area A1 and an area A2 if there's two groups of roof drains. Because I know when I looked at it, I'll tell you the first 5 roof drains. So if I go one, oh, the other, I want the other roof drain to overflow roof drains. So if you select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and you isolate those. Those are all like in the same area. Okay, you got this one big system over here, but here you've got two systems. Okay, you got 2 and you got 3. They're both coming out at the same place. So what I worry about is you got essentially 4.
Area. Maybe we
You,
call that area B roof drains, area A roof drains, because they're
yeah, but what I'm saying is all 4 of these first 4 are all in area A.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying A1, A2,
Yep. I'll do that.
A3,
Okay.
A4. So really what I should do,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
see, I should go here and I should say this is ORD A1, right?
Yep.
And I should say this is ORD A2.
Sure. Okay.
Then you'll know what to name them. You'll have that sequence. You can actually tag them. But then that's where I'm telling you, to me, it seems like, let's see, that's 5. So if I take 5 and 5, I want you to isolate just those 2 lines. Granted, I'd like the other ones on there in gray, but I want you to highlight that that's how that fucking drain runs.
Sure.
All right. And then you would do the same thing for 4, which 4 is in the exact same area. You know, it seems like it'd be far away.
Okay.
Right? They're in basically the same area. When you're doing this, you should be saying, uh-oh, what's happening here? XX?
It just accidentally got up above and it shouldn't have. Yeah. Should have been deleted.
Maybe, maybe not.
It was.
Yep, that was what it was.
But that's great because now you can fix it and fix things up better. I like that.
Well, the beautiful thing is, all right, this is where you get extra credit. If on each one of those sheets, you give me a schedule of the pipe and a schedule of the fitting for that system.
Okay.
You know how pretty that would look?
Sure.
That would be much greater value than you tagging and dimensioning. We can get someone else to tag and dimension. All right.
That sounds good.
No one makes them look prettier than you do. I'll give you that. But I'd like to get some higher value stuff that I can't get someone else to do. If you can clean up your systems while I'm cleaning up the systems on the mechanical, this is the stuff that makes a lot of money in one weekend.
Sure.
Okay.
I know those vents are going to take a little bit though. I need to look at those vents later. We'll talk about that later. Because the
Which ones?
vents
The
got a
vents or
lot
the
of
sump?
fixing. The
I'm gonna
vents
play.
got a lot of fixing because if they're not coming up in the walls and you can't go horizontal, then that takes a little bit of work. We're gonna have to figure that one out.
We're not doing that this weekend.
Okay. Okay.
No, that's after you meet with it. Until a plumber tells you what he wants, I'm not trying to read someone's mind.
Okay. Okay.
That's where I want to know. Then I can tell you exactly which vent systems he's got a problem with, right? Because I can simply he take me to a view and I can say, oh, we need to work on system number 3 or system number whatever you call that vent. I guess
Yeah.
the vent. You know
Yeah,
what
we
I
can
would.
call him. We can call him and say, "Hey, let's look at this in the plan view and say, okay, where do you want this vent would coming up at?"
That's
You
right.
know?
That's right. That's right. That's
Okay.
right. But you know what I would call the vents? Just like you're doing the drains.
Yep.
The
The
first
restroom.
vent through the roof is going to be A1. The second vent through the roof is going to be A2.
Okay. Yep.
Actually, you know
VTR.
how, what's that?
The vent. Yeah, the vent through the roof is gonna probably control all the bathroom area in that system. Yep.
Yeah, but I'm
There's a
saying
lot of
that
them.
the vents should be named area A1,
Sure.
area A2, whichever area they pop up in. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. All right. We'll call that one, and we'll do another one for interferences
Okay.
later tonight.
Okay.
I appreciate you doing that.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.